Start the recording here. Okay, everybody, fasten your seatbelt because we're going to learn and grow. We're going to take our life back. We're going to take our life back, and we're going to have some winners today. So fasten your seatbelt. We're going to learn and grow together.
Okay.
Hello, my listening friend. It's so nice we can meet each other on the air on this beautiful, best day ever. And for those of you who are fans of the show, welcome back. And if you have stumbled for the first time on the Lillian McDermott radio show, let me tell you what this is what I am about. I am committed to providing alternative ways to heal, and it is my mission to make awareness, responsibility, and truth a part of our everyday life. And I hope you, my listening, as well as my viewing friends, will feel empowered to embrace a new truth and live the life of your dreams. Now, today we're giving a DVD, the DVD that will change your life now. It's called Get Your Life Back Now. And it's with United Intentions. Today we are focusing again on integrated seniors. And what better way to take your life back than have all these wonderful doctors to set up DVDs, that a package of DVDs that will help you make the right choices. Look at this. I'm showing everybody on YouTube. So for those of you who want to learn more, 6 DVDs, wonderful doctors to get your life back. So if you think that getting older means becoming sick, out of shape, or irrelevant, then it's time to make a choice to be an integrated senior with my co-host and partner in crime, Tim Ray. And since it is our sole purpose in life to give and receive love and knowledge, I am so grateful to Tim that he is here to do just that. Welcome, Tim, to the Lillian McDermott radio show.
Oh, it is so wonderful to be here and waking up this nice and early and see this beautiful sunrise in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. It's amazing.
Awesome.
Not far from you.
Not far from me, and we'll hopefully get together before you leave Florida because it's a must anytime you step into the state. So share a little bit about what we're going to talk about today and how everybody can get involved.
Well, this DVD series has captured about 21 hours of unbelievable information that you just can't get shared anywhere else other than in this integrative world by these top doctors in the world. These are the top integrative doctors. We're talking about Dr. Joseph Mercola, Dr. Cowden, Dr. Tennant, Dr. Bush, Dr. Shealy, Dr. The nurse Dr. Herback. I mean, you got a whole list of 25 not only MDs but also experts in their field, captured all into one DVD series, as well as a digital version. You don't have to buy a physical product. A lot of people like to have it in their hand that has information that will blow your mind on chronic illnesses. Not just one chronic illness, not just cancer, but I mean, you name it, ALS, MS, Alzheimer's, the whole list goes on, diabetes, and arthritis, chronic illnesses that are just skyrocketing. And it talked about why is it happening? Why are we being toxified? And where is these toxins coming from? What we can do about it. And so it's just amazing how this information is literally not being heard anywhere else, especially not in the mainstream medical industry. And you go even at your allopathic doctor's office.
Yeah.
You go into an allopathic doctor's office for preventative care, you're not getting this information. You know, it's always after the fact. It's the triage. It's like after you have the chronic illness, this is what you have to do or you should do. And it's not always true. There's alternatives to this that are so much more healthier and with no side effects, other than maybe positive side effects. So you have an option, and of all this information, all in this little package, we condense this, and it's never been done before. You know, and on top of that, Lily, we've also got the 60 DVD in there is the Doctors of Rock Awards.
Yes.
Where for the first time ever, that all these doctors were honored for their sacrifices, and some were sacrifices, you know, were just unprecedented, from their concerns with their license to because you talk about big pharma, you know, and all these different other groups out there don't want people to hear about what these integrative doctors have to say. So they're being honored for the first time because it's actually helping heal. You know, it's actually helping people get their life back. and it could be a threat to many people. And so we had an opportunity to honor them all in the DVDs and Doctors of Rock Awards for all the work they've been doing all their life, as well as sharing their secret sauce.
That's right. And so this is very powerful information today for those of you who want to integrate your life into a more holistic, natural, functional lifestyle. Now you have an opportunity to get started. You have these leaders, 25 experts that will come to your home through this DVD package of 6 discs, and each one, and I went to the Doctors Who Rock convention, and this was a convention that was done last year in Orlando, Florida, and I had the privilege to be a part of that when I attended the Doctors Who Rock conference. And it was really nice to see some of these doctors who really have stepped outside the box, who have risked their careers, who have been mocked and ridiculed by their own peers, who don't understand how important it is to take your life back. And so this DVD, be the 10th caller or texter, 407-373-5959. And we're going to continue our conversation when we return worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. The 10th caller or texter, 407-373-5959. We'll be right here waiting for you. Okay, so here we go. So Brian, okay. So Tim, the name of the conference last year was?
GetYourLifeBackNow.live.
No. That's the conference. The name of the conference that the doctors went for CEUs and learn from these.
That was the ACIM Connect. That's the ACIM Connect conference that Dr. Cowden and the Scaniers has for all these other doctors that share the information and educating these doctors. They're like, the ACIM is the doctors. That's where all the doctors go to get updated and educated.
Yeah. Just recently, Tim, I had a guest on the show who has AIDS, HIV positive. They're HIV positive. And for some reason, I remember interviewing a doctor that specializes in this and that has been able to reverse it naturally. Is that Dr. Cowden?
I'm not sure. I've never heard him talk about that. But I know there's some. I
remember because I wanted them, because they're on medication, and I just wanted to point them in the right direction. I can't remember which.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's some people playing with the viruses and supposedly reversing them, but I think need some verification. I know Tom Palladino's is saying he's doing that, but I think needs to be verified. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't talk about people that we don't know if it's approved or not. But no, there was a doctor on my show. For some reason, I thought it was Dr. Lee Cowden. There's so many wonderful doctors that come through, and I am trying to remember who it was. And I thought, well, let me ask you. And since we're on a break right now from the show, we're for those of you who are tuning in and you're watching this on YouTube, there is a radio show on AM, FM in Florida from Jacksonville all the way to West Palm that you can hear us on the radio. And then while the radio is on break, then we continue our conversations off the air. So you get the background scoop of what's happening, right, Tim? And you are in Florida, and the reason why you're in Florida right now?
There's this billionaire roundtable happening right now on a yacht, which we're going out to, and I'm one of the presenters.
So why did you tell me?
It's been posted everywhere.
So that I could attend.
I know. Well, it's not too late. Come on,
Well, I got plans this weekend already. I got plans already. So billionaires what? Roundtable.
And it's helping new CEOs, people getting involved in the industries, what they can do to, it's not just about the money, but attract prosperity in their life.
Oh, I like that. So, okay. So here we go. I've got my little nudge from Brian. Thank you, Brian, for keeping us honest. So we're going to talk about some of these. Do you have the DVD in front of you or do you?
No, I don't.
Okay. So I have it here. So we can, yeah. I'll talk about, each one, and you can share a little bit about what each one will be able to provide as far as education. And so here we go. Welcome back to the Lillian McDermott Radio Show, where we always learn and grow together. Today, Tim Walters, not only is he my co-host, but he is my partner in truth. With Integrated Senior, once a month, we have this segment so that we can, did I say Tim Ray?
Hey, I'll take Walters. That's fine too.
Tim Walters, Tim Walters is my editor. He's my editor. Whoa, man. I need to, which one talked about brain issues here? So I'm going to have to check out that DVD.
David Miller. Yeah, Dr. David Miller talked about Alzheimer's and you name it.
Yeah. So Damon, well, we actually did a show with Damon Miller.
Yes, we did.
Recently. Okay, so let's talk about, we have 6 DVDs, of which one of them is the Doctors Who Rock award ceremony, which was really beautiful. It was nice to see some of these doctors who have been so made fun of. And okay.
Right.
So here's a little thing. We're going to start the second segment over because we're pre-recording. And then Brian said, we can't air that. We can't air Tim Ray being called Tim Walters. Tim Walters is my editor from Florida Today. And we just did a show called I Am the Solution. It's my last article. I'll send it to you, Tim.
Yes, I love your articles.
Okay, well, I'll send you my next one. It's called I Am the Solution. So we just did a show with him. And so Brian's going, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to put that one on there. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Brian. Okay, here we go. Okay. Welcome back to the Lillian McDermott radio show where we always learn and grow together. And today, Tim Walters. Let's do it again. Don't tell anybody. All of you who are watching on YouTube, because I don't edit these. Ready?
Yep.
Welcome back to the Lillian McDermott radio show where we always learn with one another. And today, Tim Ray is not only my co-host, he is my partner in truth. And if you ever want to take your life back and believe and learn and consider a new truth, today's the day. The 10th caller or texter will get a copy of Get Your Life Back Now. You could also go to getyourlifebacknow.org. No, yes, getyourlifebacknow.org. No, live. Can we start that over again? No. We're going to keep rolling. Okay. This is live radio right now. So we're going to get your life back now.
.live.
And for those of you who think that just because you have a diagnosis that you're stuck with that medication for the rest of your life, think again. If you have OSIS, diverticulosis or diabetes or all these different EDs, I don't know what they are, asthma, which I have been able to get off all my asthma medication with vitamin C. I recommend that you contact a doctor or someone that will support you. Or you can just go to your doctoryourself.com with Dr. Andrew Saul. It's too early. It's the Saturday syndrome. So here we go. So Tim, let's start talking about some of these wonderful doctors. Dr. Jonathan Wright is the first one that gets up there on the first DVD. We're talking about 25 experts. Oh, let me just give the number just in case. 407-373-5959. That's 407-373-5959. The 10th caller or texter will win this wonderful package of DVDs. There's 6 of them to learn and grow. So let's talk about Jonathan Wright. What can you tell us about Jonathan Wright, MD, about how to not go deaf, blind, and lose your mind? That's his topic.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, he's the doctor who's always wearing purple. It's a really nice signature outfit to him. Mm-hmm. And he starts out with a couple of them cracking some dry humorous jokes, but I know.
There was one joke that I thought was funny.
But that's a typical doctor for you. They just they got to stay in their channel. But what can you tell you? Is he going to be one of the famous comedians? Maybe not. But he talks about so many different things on what you could do. But what's the most fascinating what he talks about is, especially for this show, You don't have to grow. It's not inevitable when you grow old, you're going to lose your eyesight or you're going to lose your hearing. You don't have to. It's not in, you don't, if you're taking care of your body, and one of the reasons why, because we're not taking care of our bodies when we're younger. And this is a cumulative effect. Chronic illnesses is not something that happens overnight. That's why it's chronic. It's a cumulative effect. And there's certain things he talks about on there, which I can't recall exactly the type of supplements and drugs, which you could actually look at. And when you watch the show, you'll hear what he has to say. But there's, after every day, you don't take care of your body. Then later on, your eyesight starts to wear down, and your hearing, because over that time period, you're doing like everybody else is doing. You're not taking care of your body, and this holistic approach to everything is not inevitable. Is my point. And so there's certain things that you're deficient in because of a culture and society that we do the same thing. We eat the same thing. We deal with the same toxins. We're trained and conditioned to have the same lifestyle, so we have the same chronic illnesses usually later on in life. But you don't have to.
No.
So that's the great news. You could be 100 years old and not have any eye problems or hearing problems, and that's the beautiful part about it.
Yeah, they've gone to these third world countries where they don't have toothpaste, they don't have all the luxuries, and they have no cavities, and they have because they don't have the candy bars, and they don't have all the processed junk that we are eating. So get your life back now. We have we can go to, if you'd like to go to and check it out, you can go to whenyouneedafriend.com, because we have a promo going on. And what's the promo now?
The promo is we have a 25-day series where we're going to be showing 5-minute clips of every doctor coming up very shortly, where you'll have a chance to get a feel for each doctor and expert and hear what they have to say. And so it gives you a little teaser of what you could actually experience. And every day you go in there for the 25 days. Normally, the DVD and the DVD goes for about $149. And here, I think the promo code would be for $99.
Yeah. So if you go to whenyouneedafriend.com and you and my homepage, it's part of the banner. I know I need to kind of, there's like 5 or so of the banners that are floating through, but if you click on it, it's the 25 days to get your life back now, and that's when they're doing the reduced amount. It's the 25 days, but you can get it, be the 10th caller or texter 407-373-5959. Now you guys are making some claims here that says learn to prevent and reverse chronic illness. That's the first claim. The second one is improve your physical, mental, and social life. And the third one is put the power of your health back into your hands. And I think that this is the main key when we become an integrated senior, because we have the power. Our bodies were designed to heal naturally, but what happens is we stop the healing by adding foreign chemicals that are actual toxins. Would you like to say anything about that?
Absolutely. I mean, we're being bombarded. I mean, from the sky, from the ground, from the land, from the sea, from the water. We're talking about fluoride in our water. Sodium fluoride we're talking about, not just a natural growing fluoride. Sodium fluoride is a poison. If they actually leaked sodium fluoride out of a chemical tanker, it would eat through cement. We not only have it in our toothpaste, but we have it in our water system. Mm-hmm. If you really follow the history of the fluoride, it would just blow your mind of why it's in there. And then you have the glyphosate in our food, and it's also in the air too.
Sure.
I mean, you talk about Dr. Zach Bush on he's one of the doctors and one of the experts on there. He talked about Cancer Alley, up 10 times more likely to get cancer up and down the Mississippi River if you're living in a town there. Why? Because of the glyphosate. The glyphosate, which he talks about on the DVD series, and also I meant to tell you, Lillian, there's also a digital version too. If you don't want to actually buy, you want to get immediate access. When you buy this DVD series for $149, you actually, or the $99 promo here, you actually get the digital version free with it. So you can download it immediately. You go to the getyourlifebacknow.live and you can download the digital version before you even get your DVD, in case you want to watch it on your computer or on your phone. But there's, he talks about the glyphosate, how the big companies, Monsanto got glyphosate trademarked, or got got it patented to be an antibiotic. And the glyphosate is the poison they put into the Roundup to kill the weeds. It's in our food system, and it's causing cancer. And it's 10 times more likely to get cancer if you live in the Mississippi, because the glyphosate in the farming industry is up in the air now, and it's airborne, and then it gets into the Mississippi River. And that's where people are finding out. That's just couple of toxins we're being inundated with every day. And then you have the toxins from the sky, the metals, the nano-sized aluminum metals that are coming down from the geoengineering going on. And people don't talk about this. This is constant every day. When you look up in the air, there's these spider webs. That's not just a coincidence. That's going on.
I've heard of chemtrails. Yeah. I have been told about chemtrails. But nothing was more piercing of my heart. I was with some of my friends at the beach last weekend, and we saw a stream. It looked like a plane had. It actually comes from a plane, and it looks like the tail, the exhaust from the plane. So you got that white trail, right?
Yeah.
And so I recognized it because I had been pointed out. They said, okay, that's a chemtrail. That's not the typical stuff the what?
It's not a contrail. It's a chemtrail. Yeah.
Okay. So is that what it's called, the contrail?
Yeah.
Okay.
Contrails evaporate after so many feet.
Correct. Exactly. So you saw the trail, and it just stays there. And then it starts expanding.
Fanning out, yes.
And then and I had mentioned it to our friends that were visiting, and I said, I recognize that as a chemtrail. And so he says, yep, they're all over. Look at this. You see that right there? And it was like the whole entire sky. And he goes, that's a chemtrail. I said, no, that can't be. That's a cloud. And he said, no, that's a chemtrail. Wait, and see how that trail will expand. And you called it a web, and that is exactly. So we sat there, we were talking, we kind of ignored it, and about half an hour later, or maybe an hour later, after we were sitting under the umbrellas, we were talking and having a good time, he said, look, Lily, look at the sky now. I swear to you, it was like 20 feet wide.
Listen, we're so conditioned to look down at our cell phones that we're not even going out into Mother Nature and seeing what's going on up in our sky and what man is actually doing. And it's not just happening here in the United States; it's happening all over the world. This is, and just so people understand this is geoengineering. This is Congress came out with information that's back in the 70s. They've been geoengineering for a long time now, but they've been doing it up. They've been up in the game in the last 5-10 years with doing it daily. But the problem is when you're geoengineering and you're manipulating the weather and you're manipulating things, they're using nano-sized metals to do the manipulation. And so these nano-sized metals, I'm talking about aluminum, I'm talking about barium and the beryllium. They have different types of metals, and you really don't know because it's not on the record anywhere. I think the CIA just came out and talked about how chemtrails are not good, but you're not hearing it in the mainstream media unless you're on Lillian McDermott's show. And
or the United Intentions, Good Intentions with you, Tim Ray. Yeah. And so, I wanted to, I don't want to go too far from what we're talking about, which is the Get Your Life Back Now CD, DVDs, that package that you could get, being the 10th caller or texter calling 407-373-5959. I love all the calls that are coming in right now. But to 10th caller or texter 407-373-5959. So here's the thing. What I want to go back to Blanche Gruby. She's a dentist. I loved her talk about our teeth. We talk about toxicity in the body.
Metals too,
heavy metals. But I just recently went to the IFM conference. It's the Institute of Functional Medicine. And I sat there and I listened to doctor after doctor talked about how we have toxic overload. Where is this toxicity coming from? And it's coming from our mouth. It's coming from the environment. It's coming from our food and our water, cadmium, you just name it. And so he said, Robert Roundtree, who's going to be on my show pretty soon, he said, we talk about these autoimmune diseases as your body turning against itself. Well, the goal of the body is to naturally release some of the toxins that we have, right? And so because of it, our body knows to attack it, get rid of the toxins. But what happens is these metals are going into our organs, and they're going into our tissues. And so Dr. Robert Roundtree said, It's not the body acting against our body. It is acting, it's doing what it needs to do because it is attacking our modified self. Isn't that brilliant? Our
Yes.
modified self. And we've got to take that back. We've got to return our body back to health.
Absolutely. And I know we're coming on a break here
Yes.
shortly, but when we get back, I would like to talk about what happens to our immune system when we're overloaded with these toxins,
Okay.
these foreign objects, metal objects.
Okay, so 10th caller texter, 407-373-5959. Get the DVD, get your life back now. And we're going to continue our conversation with Tim Ray when we return worldwide at whenyounneedafriend.com. We'll be right here waiting for you. Yeah, and sometimes I wonder, is the conversation we're having on the air right now, people are listening going crazy? And
Yeah.
I would have, Tim. I don't know about you. How long have you been following the chemtrails and all this stuff?
Oh, 20 years.
20 years?
Oh, yeah.
You've known about chemtrails?
Yeah, I know a lot of stuff's going on, but the fact that, sometimes what I love about your show is you don't want to be too far ahead of the crowd, because then, yes, you get labeled as, crazy or whatever it may be. But if you're just in front of them just enough, sharing information just enough, just to get them understanding to look up or to look at these things, then, you could open people's eyes. And it's amazing how quickly we're so just not just dumbed down, but mind controlled by ourselves on what we want to believe and what we don't want to believe, because it is crazy when you really look at it.
Yeah, interesting.
But explains the rise of Alzheimer's by 55%.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. That's crazy. 55% in the last 10 years.
I just interviewed Michael Clapper. Do you know who he is?
Yeah, I think I heard his name before, yeah.
Oh my God. You need to get him on your show.
Yeah.
He is really great. He has a saying, and he had it, a patient of his created a plaque, and he says, it's the food. It's been the food all along, right? So that's how, when he started 40 years ago, it was that. It was, people, started the fast foods and, the TV dinners and all of that. And then they were like going in there saying, gosh, I'm not feeling well. And he says, if you take a hammer and you keep hammering your head and you say, Doc, I've got a headache, then stop hitting yourself with a hammer. And so the food is injuring our body, but not just that. We're putting on deodorant that has aluminum on it. I'm very proud to say I don't use deodorant. I use crystals. And honestly, when people say I don't wear deodorant and they don't wear deodorant and they don't think they smell, they do smell. I don't care who you are. Sorry, you smell. Yeah. And but this crystal kills the bacteria that causes the smell. And of course, when you eat a whole food plant-based diet, or even if you eat a full, because my husband still, I got Robert turned on these crystal deodorant, and he eats animal products and he doesn't smell. So I know it works, because I'm telling you, Tim, I don't know, what kind of deodorant do you use?
I use I use the all natural deodorant. You get it like at Whole Foods but
does it have aluminum in it? Have you checked it?
No. Oh yeah, no, I don't.
Okay, so it's no aluminum on it, and of course we put this on thinking, oh, I'm not going to smell. Yeah. Well, the beauty of the crystals, the Thai crystals that I use, and it's for a whole year. It's like $5, It's like this piece of crystal that you wet. It's like a salt rock, and then you put it under your armpits. And when I first did it, Tim, I was like, get away from me. I'm like, please smell me. Because I was so self-conscious. We have these beliefs. That we think that we have to do it a certain way, like cooking with oil. And Dr. Clapper has challenged me to not cook with any salt. He said, don't cook with salt, don't cook with oil. And then if you want salt, have like the Himalayan or something that's less, it's not the processed kind of salt. And then just go ahead and add it to just a teensy bit on your food, just to get that. And he said that if you have a high cholesterol or high blood pressure, and people who don't, you can use the taste buds for salt versus bitter are right next to each other. And if you sprinkle lemon juice on things, it's really salty. It tastes, it hacks the salt thing. But anyway, so I see it's about to get back. This is a time where I talk about my show, and then we'll get back to the Get Your Life Back and Blanche Gruby. Did we finish talking about Blanche Gruby?
No, and I think it's a good start about the metals too, and I think it's important.
The modified self. That just hit me with a 2x4. So here we go. And we don't have any music because we don't have music, so we can't dance. Okay, we can dance. Welcome back to the Lillian McDermott radio show, where you can hear us worldwide at whenyounneedafriend.com. I am your host, Lillian McDermott, and I am so excited to get Tim Ray, my co-host and my partner in truth, to share what he's learned and what I've learned from the teachers that I've had on the show. And this is where we have this conversation. And honestly, I'm going to tell you right now, if I would have heard me 7 or 8, 9 years, I would have turned me off. And even if you turn me off, that's fine. I understand. I get it. It's because we've been taught that this is the way life is. And I get it. And so I don't get offended. If you don't believe me, that's fine. This is my new truth. And what I encourage you is to consider it. Just consider it. Research it. Look it up. Look up chemtrails. Look up natural, holistic, integrative. Just look it up and start listening to the Lillian McDermott radio show just a little bit at a time. I will spoon feed you just a little bit of sugar that is like a module date, not the real processed stuff, just the module date, the whole food plant-based. And so I want to encourage you to go to whenyounneedafriend.com, become a subscriber. Even if you think I'm a ranting lunatic, just consider it. So go to whenyounneedafriend.com, become a subscriber. This is where we have this conversation of 100% responsibility. And the kind of responsibility I talk about leads to empowerment and freedom. While you're there and you subscribe, I ask you to play around with all of the little buttons. We have the social media buttons, like me there. We have the YouTube button, subscribe there. And when you subscribe to the channel, to the station, the website, and to the channel, my YouTube channel, those get sent to you to your phones or tablets so that you can listen to it or watch it at any time. And when you watch the YouTube, you get the on and off the air conversations. Some of the times we just don't have enough time to finish up whatever we're talking about, and we'll have those conversations that we cannot have on the air. And if you're interested, go to whenyounneedafriend.com, click on the YouTube channel. You can subscribe there as well. And that channel is doing really well. So I'm so grateful to all of you. Also, while you're there, make sure you subscribe, that you check out my sponsors page, United Intentions, which we really haven't talked a lot about United Intentions today, but United Intention, the founder of United Intention is Tim Ray, my partner in truth. And his intentions for all of us to focus on what we want. And he has a way, if you go to unitedintentions.org, that you can become a member. This is a free board that you can go to and be uplifted. You can also do that at whenyounneedafriend.com. But sometimes you don't need whenyounneedafriend.com. Sometimes you need United Intentions. Sometimes you don't want to have the module date. Maybe you just want to have the walnut. So here we go. We have the module date and the walnut. Did I just call you a walnut, Tim Ray?
Yeah, I like it. So unitedintentions.org is a great place where it's a digital community where you could go and experiment with creating and tracking and manifesting your intentions. And it's a wonderful way to share that in a community or by yourself and realize the power of our intentions, the power of our thought and our feelings, the actual physical properties to it. And it does affect not only within ourselves and our body and our health, but it also affects outside of ourselves. And we're finding this out in science that supports us and has supported this for a long time and explains a lot. So it's a great place where, like I said, you could go and test it out. So thank you. But I think we were talking about, you said about Blanche Gruby, and I just wanted to say one thing about the metals that Blanche Gruby talked about, the mercury in the mouth, right?
Yeah.
Is that, but we're being bombarded by toxins. We're, like I said, the land, the sea, we know the sky. And when these nano-sized aluminums, they come down within a day or so. Depends how low the chemtrails are going. And when they come down, they got to go somewhere. And these are metals. These are heavy metals, nano size, that they're so small they actually get through the brain barrier. And so, and it doesn't matter if you're in your house, in the air conditioning, it will come through the system there or outside. So imagine this. Imagine being bombarded not only from the sky and metals coming down. You're using aluminum deodorant. You're eating the food, the poisons every day. The fluoride, sodium fluoride metals coming in. So our body is not designed to detox from metals. It's a foreign object. And so what happens is, this is the common theme. This is why it's so important to go to getyourlifebacknow.live and get these DVDs. And these doctors tell you how to detox from these metals that are coming in every day, because it's happening every day. Hence why Alzheimer's, chronic illnesses are skyrocketing, because now we're feeling the cumulative effect of everything, right? Yeah. And what happens, you get a low-grade infection. These metals cause these low-grade infections. And then these low-grade infections cause inflammation in the body and the organs where these metals are relying in the tissues, because the immune system is constantly in charge trying to get rid of these metals. So now you got this overused immune system, inflamed body. We put the wrong foods in our body, or making it inflamed even more. Boom. And eventually, when your immune system can only work so hard, it breaks down. And when it breaks down, eventually it will break down. You have this chronic illness. You got diabetes, you got Alzheimer's, you got MS, you got ALS, whatever the chronic illnesses, and each person's different. Depends on how strong and weak they are in these areas. But this is the common theme, Lily, that happens every day to almost every human out there, unless they're living the life of knowing what's really going on and preventing this. To get these metals out of your system, to stop the low-grade infection as much as possible, but more so to stop the overuse of our immune system that's breaking down. It's like this machine, like in that movie Jaws, when Quint's pushing the boat so hard, right? And Hooper's telling him, "Don't stop it, turn it off. You're gonna blow the engine." That's what's happening to our immune system right now, and it explodes. And when it explodes, that's when you have that chronic illness.
Yes, and Robert Roundtree, I was telling you off the air, and I'm going to share it with you, my listening friend, that Robert Roundtree said, autoimmune disease is not the body turning against you. It's that the body recognizes a foreign particle that's in your body, and it's embedded itself into your organs. That's what's happening, is that those aluminum, mercury. And let me tell you something about mercury really quick. They put it in our mouth, right? And we're supposed to handle mercury with like gloves and protection. And when people die and you're going to be cremated, if you choose cremation, they must remove the mercury fillings, because the mercury will go into the air. So if we have to remove the mercury fillings before you are cremated, then why would they put it in our mouth, right? So it doesn't make any sense.
It's insanity. It is literally insanity. And because it leaks, it can't help but leak, slowly leak. And that mercury leakage, which mercury is one of the most dangerous metals out there. Who knows what's going to go into these chemtrails next? Could be mercury, all we know at this point, because no one's tracking it. But, my point is that that leaks, and it gets to your brain, and it causes the fog, it causes the dementia, it causes the body breakdown of the organs, because your teeth are the control panels to your organs, to the meridians. That's why when
exactly.
you take out one tooth, that one tooth could be going directly to your heart, like your wisdom teeth.
Yep.
You take out certain tooths, and they affect different organs. And like you have reflexology in the feet too. Your meridians are tied to the parts of your feet, to your organs. And our science, as you know, doesn't deal with the bioelectrical being. They only deal with the chemical response. Yeah. And we are both. We are chemical response beings as well as a bioelectrical being. And our bioelectrical being is critical to our health.
Okay. I know. Isn't it true? We get so here's what we need to do, or this is what I'd like for you to consider. If you do have silver fillings in your mouth, I would encourage you to go to a biologic dentist, which is what Blanche Gruby is. And she's giving a talk on how to remove, there's a safe way to remove these silver fillings in our mouth. If you want to learn more about the heavy metals in the mouth, then go watch a documentary. I think it's called The Smoking Tooth. So go to YouTube, check out The Smoking Tooth, so that you can see what this is all about. We don't see it, but when taken in like these super fast great lenses. You can see smoke coming out of people's mouth, a dead tooth. There's someone from they pulled the tooth before the person was cremated. And they took this photography and saw the fumes, the gases that it emits. So this is just one thing. Now, what I was saying about Dr. Roundtree is that here we go, and we think that they say that our autoimmune disease is our body turning against ourselves. So these metals and these chemicals that are released while we have sleep between the hours of 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., that's where we have our restorative sleep. That's where we are in the catabolic state, where our body starts detoxifying and getting rid of toxicity at that point, right? So what's happening is these toxins are embedding into our organs. And it's not what Dr. Robert Roundtree says. It's not the body turning against you. It is doing its job, but it so happens that you have these chemicals. And so we get to detoxify, and we talk about detoxification in these DVDs. They talk about different ways we can get rid of these chemicals. And so Get Your Life Back Now .live is a way, or you can go to whenyounneedafriend.com, click onto my homepage, find the 25 days to get your life back. There's a special going on, but you can be the 10th caller or texter, 407-373-5959, and you can get a free copy of this life-saving DVD. 25 experts with secrets about cancers, autism, fibromyalgia, Lyme disease, diabetes, chronic illness, and more. So I want to encourage you to be the 10th caller or texter, 407-373-5959. And we're going to continue our conversation with Tim Ray when we return worldwide at whenyounneedafriend.com. We'll be right here waiting for you. I know there's so much passion. There's the things we don't know, right? But once you learn something like this, we have to protect ourselves, because fear can hurt us more than the actual chemicals in our body, right?
Oh, absolutely. It will add to it, but at the same time, when you're awakened to something, usually there's a fear response, and fear is actually a very healthy response. It's when you dwell on the fear is when it becomes a chronic issue. But fear, for example, like, wow, why wouldn't you have a level of fear when the first time you look up in the sky, as you did, and you're like, well, that's not a cloud, and that, you should have a fear level in your back of your mind saying, well, why is that happening? What's going on? Why would this do it? What would be it? And that's a very healthy perspective to have.
Yeah. So when we were in school, we learned about the different formations of clouds.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you think, okay, maybe this is a formation I did not remember.
I know, right? Just what kind of cloud was that? But how do we know what's going on, or how do we know these metals in here? Because they're when you do the ground test in the water before or after the chemtrail, there's an increase in these metals that we're finding out, so people know this is happening. This is science. This is not pie in the sky, pun intended, right? This is real science of what's going on. And when you got that barrage of metals that are coming in, and it's day after day, and you're not detoxifying from it. You don't have an infrared sonar. You're not looking at how to release these metals out as quickly as possible as they're coming in. That's when your immune system, like we said, goes in overload and becomes that engine that's about to blow. And the more you could do, and if you just focus on one of those avenues, like let's just say nutrition being the most important, which I agree, because unless you have some type of legislative or involved in a larger scale, you're probably not going to stop the chemtrails from going on, the geoengineering. But you can do is deal with how it affects you, not only on a physical level, but also on an emotional level. Like you said earlier, as long as you got to allow fear to come in, just don't dwell in the fear. Realize that you have that power of intent and your connection to your co-creator, whatever you want to call that in your life, that you can have the power to change anything. We know this through epigenetics. We understand this, that we can change it with our intention and more so with the decisions and actions that we make, especially with nutrition.
You said that so beautifully. Allow the fear to come in, but it needs to be part of our intention too, to allow it to flow out.
Yeah.
When it becomes stagnant and it becomes stagnant in our body, we've got to finalize that process, because that's what happens. We become fearful and it remains in us. And that's what I love about United Intentions, because you are a vessel that helps the flow to come out. You guys allow it.
Yes.
So I remember asking, Eckhart Tolle. I asked him that question. I was right in front of him. He was in my vision board, and you know who Eckhart Tolle is, right?
Oh, Power of the Now, yeah.
Yeah. And so I said to him, I said, Eckhart, you talk about allowing the just to go through you, or to not give it a name, or not give it but when you're dealing with something and it's stuck in you, and so he was saying, allow it to go through, don't let it stay in there, because that's what happens. And that's part of the reoccurring thoughts that we have in our head over and over and over again. We're thinking about the same thing over and over and over, and 90% of those thoughts are repetitive. 80% of those thoughts are negative. So how do we rewrite the program? We rewrite the program with stuff like this that helps us learn a new truth. And I see that we're about to go back on the air. Here we go. So you ready? This is our last segment.
What happens? This is crazy.
I love that. I love your... Okay. Welcome back to the Lillian McDermott Radio Show, where we always learn and grow together. Today, we have Tim Ray, my partner in truth and my co-host. I just love it, Tim, when you're on the show, and you're always so generous. Thank you so much for giving the 10th caller or texter. And remember, I don't answer the phone. So the phone is ringing. I don't answer the phone. But if you really want this DVD, it's a series of DVDs. There's 6 DVDs. It's a beautiful case, and it has 25 doctors, and these 25 doctors are talking to us about how to become our own MD, our own medical detective. So you have experts that are going to talk about the secrets and how to heal cancer, autism, fibromyalgia, Lyme disease, diabetes, chronic illness, and more. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and repeat what I just said, because I want to make sure they're not healing these diseases. We are healing our body.
Well, see, this is the fallacy. Most people think that doctors heal you. No one can heal you. The only thing doctors can do is to manage certain symptoms so your body can heal itself. Mm-hmm. All healing. So all healing is. I think housekeeping's trying to get in or something. Sorry. All healing is self-healing, and it's just a matter of realizing that we are actually we have to get in a state of mindset as well as a physical, or your numbers and whatever, your sugar count, whatever it may be, at a manageable level, so then our body can heal from whatever the toxins or whatever the stinking thing is going on. And so no one ever heals you. It's you heal yourself. Really is the ultimate.
Because the power that created you gave you the power to create yourself. Because our creator is an abundant creator. Our creator didn't create us to be sick. Our creator created us to be abundant and healthy. And as we get older, we've bought into the malarkey that we are supposed to get sick. The reality is eventually our life will end, right, Tim? Our life is going to end. Yeah. But the question is, how do you want it to end?
Yeah,
we all want it to end.
We all have that in common. And I just think the more, like I said, we have to fit. We can't, a lot of people just don't want to hear about stuff, Lily. And what I call, they put themselves in this state of denial-based positive thinking. If I just don't believe it to be true, I don't want to deny it. But what's feeding that denial-based what's feeding that denial? Fear. Mm-hmm. Fear is, and it's a constant fear. If you're constantly in denial-based positive thinking, like if you don't allow that fear to come in and then transform it and move these worrisome thoughts into positive intention, then you are actually feeding into that fear. So just because you're not allowing in your head consciously doesn't mean subconsciously it's not drilling you every day, that fear.
Right. That's
And
right.
a lot of people have to say, oh, I don't want to think about the chemtrails, or I don't want to think about the glyphosate in the food. I don't want to think about what's going on or whatever agendas are out there.
Yeah.
You're still feeding the fear. You're just not conscious of it. And it's probably worse than if you just bring it to your consciousness and accept it, and then learn how to transform it and perhaps make changes in your life, like what you do on your show every day, Lily.
Yeah, it's little bits at a time. We talk about and we embrace a whole food, plant-based lifestyle, which, we have to understand that if we choose to have animal products, and I'm not saying that I would never have an animal product. I'm not a vegan. I am a nutritarian. I focus on a nutrient-dense, rich diet. And so I try to meet you where you're at. And if you are eating 60% animal products, just remember that the enzymes of that animal before it was tortured to death is living in that piece of meat, and you're ingesting it. And I know that sounds like really foreign stuff, but they've done the science, they've researched this, and they've seen the difference between an animal that's been humanely killed. I don't know if to me that's an oxymoron, humanely killed. It's like, okay, or you can choose to ignore the fact that when you have animal products, it has no fiber. It needs to come out. How is it going to come out? And it just putrefies in your intestinal, and it emits these gases that eventually we all smell. Let's be honest. Let's all be honest. And so that's why it's important to have a plant-rich diet. So if you're having like the standard American diet that is about 65% animal products, just reduce it and start there. I'm just asking you to consider just reducing it and increasing these, fiber and beans, the G-bombs that Dr. Joel Fuhrman talks about on the show every month, that we get to learn from. But I'm going to get off of this subject because I really do want to talk a little bit more. By the way, the 10th caller or texter, 407-373-5959, will win a copy of the Get Your Life Back Now DVD package. It has 6 DVDs, including The Doctors Who Rock, where you get to see some of these wonderful doctors, Dr. Lee Cowden, who is the founder of the ACIM Connect, who is one of the sponsors of this project. And or you can go to whenyouneedafriend.com, go to my homepage, and click on the banner so that you can receive a discount for this DVD if you're not the 10th caller, 407-373-5959. So let's move on to some of the other. Dr. Lee Aaron Keneally, who's been on the show, amazing to talk about cancer and the way to heal the body from cancer. Can you share anything about Dr. Keneally?
Yeah, well, she's a brilliant woman, and she has so many books out, and she does so much. The first thing is, you have to diagnose it correctly. You have to have the right system. You have to have the right testing. Our archaic or barbaric testing of X-rays and even PET scans doesn't really get a job done correctly. And her, and also our doctor, not doctor, but the RN, her back. She talks about how to test things correctly. But I think Dr. Lee, she actually explains that cancer is not a death sentence. It's a wake-up call. Mm-hmm. It's a wake-up call. Your body's saying, hey, Tim, something's not right. Let's figure this out. Is it your thinking? Is it the toxins? Is it a combination of it? Or is the decisions you're making? Whatever it may be. And you connect yourself. And so when we think of cancer, we think it's like some alien foreign object is coming into our body. Mm-hmm. It's not. It's our cells have transformed themselves into something that's not healthy for the system because we're not making the right decision somewhere, right? Or we have to claim our power back. And then through the process of cancer, this wake up call, it's a blessing, really, for if you look at it from that perspective, that you can make some real changes and heal yourself through this process. Yeah. And so once you get that doctor telling you you have cancer, you'll feel the fear. But once you experience that fear, no, it's not a death sentence. It's a wake up call to your body. And a lot of these doctors, I hate to say it, do not present it in that manner, which I think is horrible. And
Well,
then
that's by intention. That is intention. Because if I scare you and I make you feel very small, that you don't know what you're doing, I'm going to trust whatever the white coat says to me. And the reality, Dr. Leanne Connealy, when she gave a talk just recently, I met her for the first time. She's just so beautiful. And she said the first thing that came out of her mouth, she was a presenter at this conference, it's Best Answers for Cancer. And she said, doctors, I want to beg you to please not even treat your patient until they're willing to do the emotional work that triggered the body to malfunction. It takes about 10 years for cancer to manifest. And at that point, ask your patient, what happened 10 years ago? What happened in the last, so if you have cancer today, you've had it for 10 years. What's waiting another month? What's waiting another week? Help them deal with whatever triggered that issue. And the doctor that was sitting next to me was like, that's preposterous. Because, you want to. It is a money-making thing. Why would the cancer industry want to find the cure for cancer? It would completely collapse an industry. So I want to encourage all of us to know that the cure is within us. We know the answers. We know the answers. And Tim, I'm so grateful to you that month after month, you come on the show. We get to talk about these wonderful things. And now we have the power with this DVD. Get your life back now. Go to whenyouneedafriend.com, click on the button, and the 10th caller texter, 407-373-5959. What was that? 5959. Thank you, Tim, for being a part of the Lillian McDermott Radio Show and a partner in truth and sponsor of the Lillian McDermott Radio Show through unitedintentions.org.
Wonderful. Thank you, Lily. I enjoy this every time, and I look forward to our next one and blowing people's minds with our guests
And for those of you, oh my goodness, we're going to keep talking. This is Lillian McDermott wishing you love, peace, joy, and unexpected abundance. Make it the best day ever. Oh, Brian, can you fudge that a little? Can you fudge that? Huh?
I said, yeah, I'll stretch it.
Yay! I'm like, we're at 3 seconds here. No more talking. Okay. So thank you so much, Tim. This was great. I love. And I'm looking forward to going through all the DVDs. I've been able to get through one, and it was just very powerful. The work that you guys are doing is incredible. And I hope that people are getting these DVDs in their hands and realizing, we can. What I don't like is for any of these doctors to say that they have the answers. No doctor has all the answers. But we can, like a book that has many chapters, we can use the many chapters, aka doctors, in our book, our body, to heal ourselves in any way we can. So Tim, thank you so much for being a part of that growth.
Thank you, Lily. Thank you very much.
And I look forward to our next conversation.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.
Bye.